Welcome to the Running Channel Podcast with me, Sarah Hartley, Andy Baddeley, who never gets a word in Edgeway, Rick Kelsey, who's usually the one interrupting. Each week we tackle a big topic within the running world. We try to provide you with some helpful tips and some light-hearted chat along the way.
We also answer your questions and keep you updated on the latest news in the world of running.
Today we are asking, what gear should you wear to run? Now, I actually ran on Saturday with a 25-year-old t-shirt. Older than me.
I hope you've washed it within that 25 years.
Well,
I can't be entirely sure.
Disgusting, but the key today is that running is brilliant. It's accessible, it's cheap. There's absolutely no pressure from us that you need to spend any money. That's the brilliant thing about getting out there and getting running. But once you become obsessed like we have, then perhaps there are some things you might want to consider buying or acquiring.
Yeah.
So let's filter through what you want to buy and what you actually need to buy. Let's get into it.
What is your oldest piece of running clothing?
I think mine's the same as yours. So I still have my base layer from when I played hockey circa aged 14.
Love that.
Because I think that for me is the one item that's like usually the most expensive.
And you still consistently wear it every week?
Not every week, but like
it's not going to the charity shop.
You know that 1 week a year in the UK where it's so cold, you can't have a conversation with another person without talking about the weather. I think the Beast from the East is coming actually this week.
Oh, really?
And it's supposed to go really cold
enough already.
That is but not like minus numbers. Also, as always,
Canada
apologies if you live in Canada.
Where it's actually cold.
We're
It's actually
pathetic.
cold,
You win. But you know that 1 week. That's when I dig it out, and every single time I'm like, and it has the school label in the back of it, and with my name written on it, and every single time I'm like, that was a good investment. Still going strong.
I've still got my high school racing singlet, my vest from school.
Would you still wear it though?
What,
I can't get into it.
What is in the Coldy Grange Grammar School singlet?
Yes.
Oh, Andy, I'd
Maroon
love to
with
see
a
you
white
in that.
and gold stripe.
Oh my god, please!
I'll try and dig it out. I've also got
Please dig it out. We should put it up
If
in the
this is a
studio.
YouTube video, you would be on that thumbnail wearing that top.
Okay, well, maybe. Well, it is a YouTube video, so maybe.
Oh, okay. He will be in that
It's in a box
thumbnail
somewhere.
wearing that top.
I've also got a T-shirt from when we, as a school, went to the English schools cup.
Again, need to see it.
It's back. This is back now. You can very easily, as evidenced by the T-shirt that Rick is wearing today, you have something printed almost overnight and shipped to you. Whereas back in the day, it was an effort to get a cotton sort of Fruit of the Loom T-shirt printed with your school name and all that sort of stuff. So I've got that somewhere folded up in a box.
Lovely.
A dusty box.
My blue roll neck, which I wore to parkrun last weekend, so comfy.
A roll neck running top.
It's not a roll neck. He just means a high neck.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, it does roll over. It does roll over.
Does it roll over?
It rolls over.
I think that's more of an age
It's
thing.
nylon.
I don't think it was supposed to roll. It's nylon.
Okay.
Right, okay.
Yeah, a bit stretchy.
Nice.
Anyway, I've got a treat for you two. So previously on the podcast, we've obviously spoken about Alan. And Alan's my handyman.
This is a running podcast.
This is a running podcast, yeah. So Alan used to be, it turns out, quite a fast runner.
Right.
Did he?
Yeah. So he used to run the 400 meters in 65 seconds. So we recently went to the track and Tom and I were all out doing 68 seconds.
Yeah.
So that's a fast 400 meters.
I mean, it's all
That's
relative.
good.
So-
Relative to me, he's 3 seconds faster. So therefore he is
yeah.
rapid.
I mean, I don't think at any sort of level, even at school, that would be considered fast.
Really?
unless he was really young when he did it.
Yeah.
No, come on, that is
Sorry, Rick,
fast.
I didn't mean to burst your bubble.
But
I just
now
don't want people writing in saying that
What is the
But now he has a
400 meter
kebab
world
for lunch
record?
every day, so that
Men's?
surprised me.
400 meter world records,
Yeah.
40, it's either really low 43 seconds or high 42 seconds.
So Alan, my handyman, hello Rick. We've spoken about him before.
Yeah.
From upstairs in the bedroom with Sandra fame.
Yeah.
Alan sent you a little note. So would you
go.
like to hear it?
Oh,
Yes, we would.
Alan.
Good morning, Sarah and Andy. Looking very much forward to meeting you. Alan here, I'm in the cupboard and I'm here to stay.
He just lives in the cupboard like
I'm
Harry
in
Potter.
the cupboard and I'm here to stay. Is that because
He
in
just
the running...
pops out of any random door
I
whenever he
think
gets to your
the
house.
best request we've ever had was this week in the Running Channel Club. So many comments saying, please can we get Alan on TRC meets?
Well, you've just heard a little soundbite, and actually Rick's impression is pretty, it sounds hard when he
It's
does it, but
pretty
it's
good.
pretty accurate.
Yeah, so Alan, very much excited to meet you.
Great.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
we should put Alan in a video. See if he can get back to 65 seconds.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far.
I've already met Alan because I think at one point I came to your house for a social visit. It wasn't work related, and I was in your kitchen, and I was just, I think, chatting to your lovely wife across the kitchen counter, and then just pops out of the pantry or whatever that little cupboard is in the corner of your kitchen.
And he'd been in there for about an hour?
Well, yeah, I'd been there a little while before he popped out.
Didn't know he was there?
No.
I just love how oh god.
Should we talk about some running?
Anyway, running.
How's your running?
So my brother came to Parkrun. My brother was down in London over the weekend. The whole family came down.
To experience the hills of your North London Parkrun.
Correct. And my brother is rapid. So, because I was looking at his...
Alan Rapid or?
No, rapid. So he finished third in...
Oh, nice.
Wow. Yeah. What time did he get?
I think the leading time in our parkrun is normally about 18:30. So you could say that's quite slow. It's quite a small parkrun.
Well, it's because it's so hilly though, right?
So
that's probably worth
hilly.
like 14 minutes anywhere else.
Still rapid though, yeah.
Yeah, so he ran 19:10.
Wow.
Pretty good running.
He didn't offer to try and pace you to sub 22:30?
No, didn't even say anything.
Oh.
Did he just disappear off at the beginning?
Yeah, disappeared off at the end as well.
Rick.
I want to jump on something else as well though. So you ran parkrun, great.
Yeah.
I think last Wednesday or Thursday though, you did intervals again.
Yeah, I did intervals.
Of your own volition.
Of my own accord, yeah. And guess what my overall time was?
It was still 5:30. I enjoyed the strong
So your average pace was still 5:30.
It was 5:30. I don't know how that's even possible.
No, I feel you because I did an interval session at the weekend and exactly the same thing. Average pace 5:34. And when I went back, because I was like really proud of the session, it was a pyramid.
Yeah.
So happy, 200, 400, 600, 800.
Yeah.
Perfect execution. Was so happy
You went up
with
to
it.
800, then you came back down.
Yeah. And then I think... I went up to, so I did 200 meters, 400, 600, 800, a K, and then 800, 600, 400, 200.
Wow. What gaps in between?
Either 2 minutes or 90 seconds.
Walking.
I did like a walk or a jog.
Well, that's what brings your average pace down, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but then it literally worked out to 10K at 5:34.
It's unbelievable.
And I was like, how's the math?
So I did a mile warm up. So I'll kind of start my watch, mile warm up. Then I did essentially 400 meters times 6 with 150 meter walking in
Nice.
Okay. Good effort.
Yeah.
And
then a mile at the end.
What brought this on?
Just trying to get a bit more speed work to try and beat my 5K
I think we've got under his skin with the whole pacing.
Yeah,
situation. We do.
Yeah, but then
what
on
you should
Saturday, on
try?
Friday, we are. When we went to the National Run Show, one of the talks that you two did a talk together, and I did one with Jess and Tom. One of the talks I did was about the 3 S's in running: stress, social, and sleep.
Yeah.
And sleep Friday night. We're sleep training our toddler at the moment.
Yeah.
So we do shifts through the night. I was exhausted on Saturday morning, even though I did those intervals. And so I got to the line and I knew within 75 meters that I was not going anywhere near PB pace.
Yeah.
Did you still try and run a PB?
Still tried.
Didn't switch it off. Let's keep going.
I could just tell like the sleep was just, you can, because I thought I was in pretty good shape.
Such a massive impact.
I was in pretty good shape. I trained in the week. I'd done a bit of speed work, and I thought, right, this is a good day to run fast.
Yeah.
But within 75 minutes, I
How
could
much
just
sleep
feel.
do you reckon you got?
I got 4 hours sleep on Friday night.
Oh.
So, and I just knew instantly, and you could just tell because I just didn't have the stamina in my muscles to run any fast. I knew that I couldn't go any faster as my brother lapped me.
Who says this podcast doesn't have science? Because you didn't have the stamina in your muscles to run
Yeah,
a
that's
fast
right.
5K.
Have you referenced the t-shirt?
Yeah.
You
Your
got a lovely
t-shirt's
t-shirt on.
lovely.
You came just for anyone relatively new to the podcast. We had a lovely review once, which said 1 star. I came here for the science, but all I got was this useless banter.
So we popped it on a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Yes, we've embraced
And we haven't
it.
stopped talking about it
We're still
since.
talking about stamina in our muscles.
Andy, how was your running this week?
Good.
Yeah.
The first time
I saw you come back on Strava and you ran on Saturday and Sunday.
And I ran at least twice last week, if not 3 times.
So good.
It's. I'd said I was trying to survive January. That's how it felt for me. It was a real war of attrition for me to get through January. So I did a couple of easy runs during the week, and then the weekend was February. So then it was time to shift gears, and I actually felt motivated to do that. Although I hate running in the afternoons, and I had football and other kids' commitments in the morning on Saturday. So I did my interval session, my first interval session of the year,
Nice.
in the afternoon, which was disgusting. on Saturday afternoon.
I quite like an afternoon
Can't
run.
do it. Can't do it. And then Sunday I went out really early for my long run. So I did just over 13k, I think, on Sunday. In the frosty sunrise, looking out over the fields.
It was beautiful.
It was absolutely glorious.
Sarah, isn't it nice to hear Andy speak about his running in that way?
It is.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time that you had such a positive outlook about your week's running.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a tough end to 2024. Been a tough start to 2025. But now, February,
Things are picking up.
New month, new me.
The crocuses are out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like spring is, I mean, it's absolutely freezing. And if the beast in the east comes, this may well ruin my excitement.
Yeah, but it's a new month and that's quite exciting. So I feel like hold on to it. Someone, I can't remember, someone again, I was like commenting on, they were like asking for tips with their running because they said they'd had like a really rubbish session and how do you get through it? I think you just have to accept that you never get to the point where just every single run is great.
No.
Even if it doesn't matter if you're training, doesn't matter if you're just going out and doing social runs all the time, like you will have some runs that are just a bit rubbish.
Yeah.
Or whatever, probably down to the 3 S's.
We're trying to be honest about it as well and not just pretend that it's all glorious. But you did give me a little kickstart. So the other week we were out filming and then you were like, oh, I've got a progression run to do, Andy. Do you want to come with me? And I was like, actually, yes, I do. And it wasn't planned at all.
A progression run? What's that?
Gets faster towards the end. So roughly every kilometre gets faster.
Until
you go in sections.
Until you pop?
No. It's like a...
Until we just collapsed into the canal.
Often a controlled way of doing a tempo or threshold. So you start maybe the first couple of kilometres, you'd warm up and then you start the first couple of kilometres quite a bit slower than tempo or threshold and then just get a little bit faster until you finish at threshold.
I fancy a bit of that.
Yeah.
We should go and do one of those.
Yeah.
It's a mentally easier way, I think, of doing a little bit of, even if you're not doing a particularly long run, it makes it feel much quicker because all you're thinking about is the kilometre that you're in. So,
run the kilometre you're in.
Exactly, yeah.
Love that.
I'm back in it, and I would say thanks, Sarah, because actually you kickstarted it a little bit just by helping you out, made me do something I wasn't going to do, and then there's a bunch of people in the office regularly running, and that's made me a bit more feel like I was missing out. And having got out on one or two of those runs, next week I might not feel quite so positive, but right now I feel good.
Yeah, I definitely think like the vibe in our office at the moment really helps because just so many people are marathon training and then I feel like the rest of us are just like, oh, I'll come for that.
Yeah, we're just dropping in when we choose to.
I'll help with the warm up and it's so nice. I do think other people really do keep you accountable.
Quite dependent on having the right kit because it's so cold at the moment and also there's a wall full of shoes in the office that we get sent to test, so I do have the option of, even if I haven't remembered my running kit, there's always something here for me to go out and wear. But that leads us nicely on to talking about what actual stuff you need to get running.
Yes, definitely. So we should caveat this with, running is an accessible sport. However, shoes are getting more expensive.
Yeah.
And I would probably say, shoes are probably the most key item in terms of like injury prevention and kind of making sure you have something that fits and that you can use. Most of the other stuff that we'll go through are nice to have. So please don't see this list as you need all of the stuff on it. It's more, I think we should go through all of these different items and go,
do we find them useful? Is there anything particular to consider when you might be looking at them?
Because I don't know, I don't know how you guys shop, but say if I was looking to buy new clothes, I would go onto ASOS, whatever site I'm using, I would fill up my basket with everything and then I would go back through it and be like, do I actually need that? Do I actually need that? Until I'm happy with the total price.
That is a bizarre way to show. You put everything in your basket, so you tease yourself.
I think I would do this as well because you don't want to have to scroll back and find something again that you found ages ago.
And then I recomb over my list and go like, do I need that? Do I need that the most, just to get the total price down?
I don't think I've ever tried to buy an entire running outfit in one go though. Usually I'm deciding I need something. So we're gonna go head to toe.
Let's go head to toe.
So hats. I mean, obviously you should go out to the Running Channel website. We did an amazing collab with Varga. So there are still a few limited kind of number of the different styles available of our running cap. But personally, when it's winter, I need something over my ears.
Yeah, even a headband, personally, especially if you've got a ponytail, headband, very useful.
Headband with a shaved head looks a bit weird.
That does look a bit weird. It's probably defeating the object as well.
Yeah, because my head does get very cold. So even in the office, I'm sometimes wearing a hat.
Don't you get hot in a hat though, running?
Yeah, but then I'd take it off halfway through and just stuff it down the back of my shorts.
Oh, right.
Like a little tail.
A little tail.
Yeah.
Like a little bunny tail.
Yeah, just a little tail.
Didn't you lose your tail once?
Yeah, that was when we were out in Paris for the Olympics.
Yeah, you were just walking around Paris
a beautiful
topless.
Park. Yeah, and I was a bit worried I was going to have to cycle all the way back across the whole of Paris with just my little short shorts.
I would have loved that.
But thankfully a good Samaritan had popped it on on one of the posts. So when I was on my cool down, I found it.
I do think as well, there's just hacks. if in the summer, a cap, very good for keeping the sweat out of your face, for keeping the sun out of your face. In the winter, a woolly hat or kind of any type of hat, very useful for keeping you warm, or like just allowing you to get out of the door because you lose most of the heat out of your head. However, if it is something where you're like, oh, I just don't know if I want to buy a running specific one, I feel like you can get away with not buying kind of sweat wicking material.
Just wear a beanie or something.
Because most of it you can just chuck in the wash.
Yeah, that's true. I personally do like, they're not particularly expensive. I like a very thin, almost kind of synthetic t-shirt type material, because then I feel like I could do a whole hour and a half run when it's really cold in one of those without feeling the need to take it off.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a nice to have. But I think I'm very much in the boat of like, if you can make yourself feel cozy enough to go out of the door when it's pretty brutal outside, that's half the battle. So then once you get out there, you can take stuff off, put it in pockets, shove it down the back of your shorts, throw it in a bush, you're doing laps.
I may be pink, but I get hot very quickly. So
you don't need
I don't need any. For me, I'm just like, if it's cold, I'll go for a long sleeve running shirt.
Yeah,
that's right. But the idea of a hat, I mean, I would last to the top of my road.
Here's a question, and I think this is one for the comments as well, as to whether you're which way round you are. So if it's cold, I don't understand people that go leggings and a t-shirt. So
No.
I'm long. I would put more on my upper body and less on my lower body. So I'd still be in shorts, but maybe have 2 or 3 layers up top, like a t-shirt, long sleeve, and a jacket. But then I see people fairly regularly who are out in leggings and just a short sleeve t-shirt, or sometimes even the slightly, or what I think is bonkers, like leggings and then a singlet.
Yeah,
I've seen that at parkrun.
Yeah, no, I'm like
leggings and a singlet.
Yeah, maybe this is. I mean, I could be causing all sorts of controversy here. Maybe this is the new sock, shoe. Is it more layers on the top or the bottom?
I just feel like your knees can cope with so much more than your arms. You know what I mean? As in, like, your knees can cope with so much more than your elbows.
Yeah,
like it's way more.
Yeah,
and
cold
also
elbows is horrible.
You can roll your sleeves up. You can. Yeah,
you can wear arm sleeves like I did for my marathon.
Oh my god!
No, not keen on
No,
that.
definitely wouldn't go for that.
Arm sleeves and a vest. I still can't really get on board with. As in, I know loads of people do it, and it's
because
fine.
you can peel them off. It's the mats. You don't have to wear.
I know, but I just feel like I'd be suddenly so aware that there's nothing covering my shoulders.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm a shoulder exhibitionist.
Right,
we did a club pod the other week, didn't we? On whether you wear earphones, headphones, open ear headphones when you're running.
Yeah, that was one of our episodes, the extra special episodes that you get if you're a member of the Running Channel Club.
And I think we got you to do wear earphones, don't you?
Yeah.
And you wear open ears.
Yes.
And I don't wear anything.
Yeah.
I also wear open ears, although I did that at the weekend. Kind of hard to wear a headband and open ear headphones. I found a way, but it just felt a bit weird.
That is a tricky winter conundrum.
But although over ear headphones, which I wouldn't necessarily advise for running outdoors.
Over ear, as in like the big like studio ones, like you'd wear.
You kind of are getting into the realm of earmuffs.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
And they have as well. They have
safety wise, it's a bit tricky on a run.
Yeah,
yeah, because I don't know. A lot of them now have that like ambient noise setting, so that you should be able to hear your surroundings.
Hear through, but they're definitely going to block some of the noise by definition.
Yeah.
Here's one that I can't imagine you've ever worn, Rick. A head torch.
No.
No, not even when we ran to the Wirral. Did you not run in the dark?
I think
when we did those night legs along the canal.
The night legs along the canal. Just because you literally couldn't see it and
you
might end up in the canal.
Of running it in a head torch?
I mean, I just thought it's just something you got to carry. And I'm not a big fan of carrying things, just in general.
Yeah.
And the idea of going out on a run and carrying stuff, it's like, I don't understand why you need a hydration vest for a 5 kilometre.
Well, you might do if you're practicing for something longer.
If it's part of it, so if that's part of your,
it's also just
wedged it in the middle.
Ease of carrying.
Yeah,
I would say. So
some people might like to put their phone in the pocket of a hydration vest.
Yeah, or like keys, wallet.
That's why you need half tights. They're the best thing for carrying a phone. The best thing. I don't even run with a phone because it just bangs around. Like the new iPhones are so heavy.
Yeah,
I will give my phone to
Alan.
Before I start running.
Parkrun though, right?
For anything, even a long run, I wouldn't carry it. Apart from if I was wearing half tights, which is why whenever we do races or I'm doing a half, I will take a phone, but I'll put it in a half tight so it's not banging around.
So
it's just so uncomfortable.
Sarah, when you do a full marathon, do you think you'll wear half tights?
If I did a full marathon,
when-
I
He's
would
backtracking
wear
here. We've got you on tape. On
Half
half
tights.
tights. If I'm being very careful with my language here.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so great. So he'll be wearing half tights when he does his marathon.
Do you think
Won't
that's
be doing a marathon.
so? I don't run with my phone either, unless I desperately want to take photos of the fields that I'm staring at for
Yeah.
podcast listeners.
Lovely.
Do you think that that's something that Rick and I have never really had to think about because we're men? I might be going too far in it, but like, would you ever run without your phone?
No, I'd never run without my phone. I remember that one of the first running watches that I got when you could put a podcast onto it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I put a podcast onto it. I still ran with my phone.
Still run with your phone.
Yeah.
Still ran with my
And this is
phone.
probably
Okay.
what, I mean, and I was thinking about this as well. Rick doesn't use headphones or a head torch. Both of those are electrical items that require some degree of like
Competency.
Competency to turn on a head torch.
Hey, well, I don't
Actually,
yeah.
Well,
to
if it's
be
got
fair,
a USB
Yeah,
charger
exactly.
in it.
some
yeah,
of it,
yeah.
some head torches are actually quite complicated.
Really?
Some running head torches because they're like trying to strip everything off. So it's not necessarily going to be a button. It's like a twist or like a slide. Or
Okay. But Sarah, if you're doing a park run or you're doing a park race or an organised race, then you haven't got to worry about a phone then. You haven't got the,
No, but I don't-
safety aspect of
I
having
don't
a phone.
have the luxury of my lovely wife standing on the sidelines supporting
just
me,
gotta
Rick.
get to and from
I've
the
got to
park
get
run.
to the park run. I run it without spectators, shockingly.
You've got a bloke who has big pockets.
Yeah, but he's probably running it as well. Although, oh my gosh, I did spend a good portion of last week looking at dog backpacks that you can get if you want to go hiking with your dog.
So you think Herbert's going to carry the phone for you?
Yeah.
you can
What if he disappears
Exactly. Give it to Harold.
Well, they can give me a ring.
Harold.
Give it to Harold. He can carry his food. He can carry because there is apparently if you go out on like a long hike with your
Yeah.
dog, this is useful information, and like a long hike,
Yeah.
then it's actually quite sensible for the dog to carry like a first aid kit, potentially food as well, because then if it does get lost, when it gets found, it's got everything it needs.
What were the-
Self-sufficient.
What were the dogs? What were the dog breed where they would swim and they'd have like something underneath their collar here with like. Do you know what I'm talking about? Is that a St. Bernard or something?
No.
They had like
That
a,
is like a mountain
St. Bernard's
rescue.
an
Yeah.
enormous dog. Yeah.
Yeah.
What would that thing do?
I don't know. I think it was like it held stuff. Maybe that was his first day. I might be making this up. I'm
Oh
sure.
yeah,
no,
you
I
can
think
get
I know what
little
you
life
mean.
jackets
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
dogs.
There we go. Thinking of. I'm also thinking of Rick appearing at events.
Yeah.
Do you ever try and go? You're kind of a big deal, as you like to tell us fairly regularly. So do you ever wear?
I've never ever said
No,
that.
he came in the other day and he said, "Hey
Here we
guys, I'm
go.
kind of
Here
a
we
big
go.
deal.
Here we
People
go.
know me.
Here we
I have
go.
many leather-bound books, and my apartment smells of rich mahogany."
Oh goodness.
Gordon Brown did once throw a book at me. Have I told you this story?
Was it in
No.
your
Prime Minister. Yeah, so I was interviewing Gordon Brown in his office in Westminster, and he had this new book out. It was for his new book, which was called My Scotland, Our Britain. Yeah. And so I went up, and he had this kind of loft space apartment in the Palace of Westminster. And so I go up. I've just done the interview. On the way out, he goes, "Kelsey, take this."
Just held a book
and
at you.
held the book at my head.
Nice.
Yeah. And I was like, ow. The former Prime Minister just threw a book at me.
You sure he wasn't
Maybe-
just gifting it to you and you couldn't catch?
Right.
That was basically
So my
it.
We
point
are
here
at-
was
So what was your point?
that you're kind of a big deal. Have you ever worn sunglasses to go incognito at your park run?
Ooh.
God, unbelievable.
Have you ever run in sunglasses?
No.
Okay, so let's go through because I'm conscious of time and we've done a lot of banter and very little useful information. Let's go through stuff that is expensive but potentially is useful in a running context. So running sunglasses,
Yes.
I would argue worth the money
Yes.
because if you've ever worn your fashion sunglasses for running, then you will have a lovely little bruise over the bridge of your
Yes.
nose
They
for when
bounce
they're
up and down, yeah,
bouncing up
yeah.
and down, especially like rubbing it next to your ear. It's not a necessity, but if you are looking to
Yeah.
invest in some sunglasses, worth it.
Yeah, they for me in the summer, one, just the glare, and two, hay fever. They massively help with my hay fever. Also.
Really?
Yeah.
What,
Yeah.
glasses?
Yeah, because pollen gets into your eyes, and that's one of the. So you have my understanding, you have like a pollen threshold. Even I don't know whether people without hay fever have this, but certainly I have. You have a pollen threshold. So as long as you don't have so much pollen coming into your body, like breathing it in through your nose, mouth, and going into your eyes, then you're okay, and you don't have those symptoms where you need antihistamines.
That makes sense, actually. That makes sense.
So sticking on the body, moving down a little bit, running coats, thoughts?
It's a tough one because it's very hard to find one that's like waterproof enough to be worthwhile. But the same, so for me, it's a windproof thing.
Yeah.
So if it's really bitterly cold, like I remember running in New York one year in January, and I've never experienced wind chill like that. I think the wind chill was sort of minus 20 or something. And it whips down between the buildings on the long avenues and stuff. And then we're in Central Park. And so wearing some kind of windbreaker, windproof. And I remember having windproof leggings where the front panels of my thighs of my leggings were windproof. That was a game changer too.
Wow.
But there's only so many years and days a year where you actually need those.
Yeah. What about reflective gear?
Yeah, I think really important now when it's the days as short as they are now in the UK, for example.
I think you can get lots of. I think it used to be reflective gear, right? Buy something bright yellow and just all over. I think there's a lot of kind of clever reflective gear now, like more of the silvery material that you can get embedded into headbands and little things. So if you're not needing to be, if you want to be kind of a little bit visible, but you are on kind of pavements, there's really clever reflective gear that you can get now, which doesn't make you look like a Christmas tree when you get into a little bit.
Yeah, and my head torch has a red light on the back of my head as well as the bright light on the front.
Nice.
Well, you're almost persuading me to get a head torture.
You can also, I think your running watch will do this. Your running watch has a torch and a red light.
It's got a red light?
Yeah.
Oh, it's no surprise that Rick doesn't know
I
this.
honestly give up. Right, so you turn the torch on.
He has just turned the torch on for audio listeners.
So turn it off.
Yeah.
Then turn it back on.
Yeah.
And then do you see like a bar comes up down the left-hand side? So then scroll down and it will turn red eventually. I'll show you it after. I can't.
Oh, yeah, there we go. It's red.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not...
So you can also make... Oh, Jesus.
That is quite bright. It's just blinding us across the office.
That's
so
incredible. What's this for when I'm reversing?
Yeah, that's for backwards running. No, so that is for visibility. I'm pretty sure you can make it flash as well within your running setting.
No
Can we get it to play
way.
something? We could. I'd love it if we could set his watch up to just like beep like he's
That
reversing
is
and just be
so-
like, this idiot is reversing.
Rick
That is
Kelsey
so
is
clever.
reversing.
That is... I'm just going to have that on. I suppose it's pointless, isn't it? Yeah.
We're in a brightly lit podcast studio.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for telling me
But
that.
that does bring us on to running watches. Worth it? Do you think you could survive without your running watch?
I love my watch now. You've persuaded me.
Have we?
Because I didn't have one for ages, but then I love it now.
I think there's the more kind of... I don't think anyone uses 100% of the metrics on their watch.
No.
Like even us.
No.
I'm not sure Rick uses 1% of the metrics on his watch.
Rick definitely
Oh, no,
the
I do.
least. But I do think it, as long as you kind of don't like live your life on your watch stats,
Yeah,
I do think they are a
exactly.
really useful thing
I
to
think your
use to
pulse
help your
socks
running.
is to tell you what animal you represent is great.
Or
Pulse-
is yours now
pulse bear.
Pulse Snake because we're in the
snake.
year of the snake.
Cold-blooded.
Pulse of a tiger today. Pulse socks 99.
Can I?
99%? Is that what it's supposed to be?
I think, 97, 98, 99, I think if you're not at altitude. Yeah. I'm not quite sure, but that's what I think it's supposed to
Okay,
be.
we'll do a podcast on that and get the correct
I don't
answers.
think we will. I think that's a
Excellent.
pretty niche topic. Can I jump
Go on.
ahead to underwear?
Oh, good one.
For ages, Rick, I'm going to include socks in this as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
So socks and pants. So one, Sarah, you said you asked Rick what his oldest running clothing was.
Yeah.
Yours might have been your pants, or are they gone in the bin now? The ones that you
I'm ashamed to say
the ones with the hole in.
You've got them on now.
still being used.
They're still being used. The
I'm
ones with the
sorry,
big hole in.
guys. Basically, over Christmas, I forgot to order some new ones, so they're still in the drawer. I have until the end of March in order to buy a new pair of running underwear. Please DM me, just saying the word underwear.
Really?
Maybe not.
That's your request. Is that people should slide into your DMs?
DMs and say
Underwear.
underwear,
No,
and
please
that will
don't.
give me a lovely little reminder to buy underwear.
but I think that
comment it on Strava.
Underwear. I feel like I had tried most types of running apparel, shoes, gadgets, all
Yeah.
that sort of stuff. But then for my marathon, it was the first time I'd ever actually properly invested in specialist
So even in your
running
professional
underwear.
career, you weren't wearing.
No, I was.
Can you just give us a
Well,
little?
you're just wearing Marks and-
can you-
Marks and Spencer
can you
pants
give us a
at the
little
Olympics?
insight to what?
You were wearing Marks and Spencer
Oh my
pants at
God.
the
I think
Olympics.
they were
do you,
next,
do
actually,
you
yeah.
remember what pants you wore in the Olympic final?
Yeah,
What were they?
I think they were a pair from Next.
Any
my mind
pattern?
is
Do they have like
blown.
any little
No, they were
ducks
like-
on them?
They
Or
were,
was it?
they were briefs,
Right.
not boxers, because you've got little split shorts on.
Yeah.
And I didn't like just running in the, like the split shorts have the inner lining.
Yeah.
But there's so many horror stories where you see a slow-mo of someone coming down the home straight, and because those briefs are like pretty loose and not very like well constrained. There's just like everything just bouncing around on full show in slow motion on the BBC. So
Lovely. So instead
I just wore like cotton briefs from Next.
Oh my gosh.
I think they were like
Which
partly,
goes to
they were billed
show-
as like sports ones, but they definitely weren't on any kind of technical fabric or anything. They
Which
weren't pure
literally
cotton.
goes to show, though, you can be in an Olympic final
Yeah.
without specialist running underwear. However,
I only ran for 3.5 minutes though.
Yeah,
Right.
well, Thomas, you've blown my mind so much. I think we better finish this podcast because I don't think I've got anything else to say.
What? No
so
more conversation
good.
about pants.
I love how, just so good. And you were wearing little cotton socks or no-show socks?
No, little no-show, but they were technical running socks.
They were technical
running
So
socks.
always running proper running socks. And I think that, we talked about how running's accessible and not particularly expensive. And some things that are really inexpensive to invest in would be a pair of pants, as long as you don't fart your way through them like Sarah managed to.
That did take a few years, though. So that wasn't good.
That was a concerted effort.
That was multiple ultra marathons that created those holes.
And socks, because I know for ages as well, Rick, you ran in just like cotton crew socks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not anymore though.
No,
you
you've
two
been
have educated me.
Yeah.
Excellent.
It's a big difference, though, isn't it? To how
Big
the shoes
difference.
fit and how they don't slide around, that they don't soak up the moisture in the same way.
Much easier to get your shoes on and off as well.
Well, that was a whistle-stop tour
Yeah.
of different kind of running elements and things that you could buy. Hopefully that was useful. Do email in podcast@therunningchannel.com. What else would you like us to talk about? Do you have any questions? Is there anything that is in your basket and you're hovering over checkout but you're not sure whether to buy it or not? Let us know. And now we've got the news followed by your questions.
News time. So robots are going to be racing humans at the China half marathon.
This is crazy.
Mad. Two-legged droids are going to take on 21 kilometers.
How fast do you think they'll do it? Do you think they're set? And also, another question, are they set to a certain pace or... Oh no, they're remote controlled. So do you reckon...
Some of them are autonomous, I think. It says,
Do you
the
think
remote
they-
control are autonomous.
Do you think they autonomously have to decide what pace they're going to run at and then run the whole thing? Do you think they're even splitting? Do you think they're negative splitting?
I don't know.
Do you think they're going to take on any gels? Like, are they going to have a separate aid station of WD-40 for the?
I need this.
these
No, you
robots?
say aid stations, and I need this midway through a half marathon. It says mid-run battery replacements are permitted due to anticipated battery life limitations.
Mid-run
If
battery-
someone just came in at like, I don't know, 15k to me and changed my batteries, and
I would love that.
incredible. Where do you think my batteries are going?
Oh, for God's sake.
Between 0.5 and 2 meters in height, these droids.
Yeah.
That
Imagine
is
one ran past you.
terrifying.
It is, isn't it?
Do you know my biggest fear in life is being chased? And
it?
How about being chased by a robot?
terrifying. I
Yeah.
don't think I'm not sure if I could do it.
Can you do the robot? The dance?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Well, for another day.
Nice.
Other bit of news, George Mills has broken Josh Kerr's 3,000 meter UK record. This is an incredible time. 7:27.92. So 7 minutes, 27 seconds.
Yeah, for context, that's a 4-minute mile and then carrying on for another 1,400 meters. Just under a 4-minute mile. It's
Wow.
absolutely
So
crazy.
almost 2 back-to-back 4-minute miles.
Yeah.
He's improved, hasn't he? He keeps improving, George
Well,
Mills.
it's his I think this is more that he hadn't done one for ages, but his previous personal best was 7:54. So that's what's that? 27-second personal best,
So
which is
good.
crazy. And for context, he's Danny Mills' son. He used to be a footballer, and also we enjoyed his antics at or were entertained by his antics at the Olympics.
Yeah, he kicked off on someone at the end, didn't
Did
he?
get a
They had
little
he
bit
squared
heated.
up to someone who
squared
thought had tripped him
However,
and wronged him. So
maybe that is fueling this kind of, you've got the 4-year cycle between an Olympics, but he's come off the back of an Olympics with some frustration and has come back fighting at this indoor meet.
yeah, and that's a record that before Josh Kerr held it was held by Mo Farah. So Mo Farah, and now Mills sits number 9 on the all-time world lists for 3,000 meters. So he's ahead of Eliud Kipchoge, Kenenisa Bekele, Mo Farah. It's pretty impressive.
Very excited to see what's next, especially with the World Champs happening later this year.
Yeah, which is space.
Shall we do some questions?
Let's.
This question is from Sean O'Marney. I don't know where he's from. No idea.
Okay.
It didn't say.
Does that
Did he
upset
say,
you?
Owen?
Oh,
Didn't say where he's from?
Sean, email in. Tell us where you're from.
Don't know. Okay. Hi guys, first time emailing in. Love the show. Didn't say where you're from though, did you, mate?
Is this long
This
time?
is so. This is so.
I was
You
about to say it's
can't
lovely
read
to
it out if you're just going to be passive aggressive.
Okay, sorry.
This is our
long
lovely
time listener, first time
listener.
emailer.
Come on.
All right, sorry.
I hope
Carry
you're
on.
okay, Sean.
Sorry, yeah, you too, Sean. Lots of love.
Tell us where you're from.
I listen while I'm running and driving home from work. I'd rather run 1,000,000 miles than go to the gym. But I'm 40 now and I realise it's more important than ever to do S&C. What are you guys doing at the gym and how do you make it enjoyable?
Just smashing the weights.
That's all you're doing.
Literally
Smashing
destroying
them.
it.
I literally just
Taking the weights
pick
to
up
town,
the
mate.
heaviest thing I can find, and I just throw it across the room.
I can see what happened
And
there.
just drop.
The
And then I
moment
storm out.
the moment that question was read, I could see Rick frantically scrolling to the same old notes page on his phone that he always wheels out.
Go
He's
on,
here's my
read
list of
out your
exercises."
6 exercises.
I don't want to get it
I
wrong.
go to the gym.
Yeah.
I choose 4 of these 6 exercises.
Single leg
I
press.
don't want to get it wrong.
Single
So I
leg
put this on the
press.
Running Channel Club because a few
Go on
people have asked me
quickly.
this.
Give us
All
the
right,
6
very
exercises.
quickly.
Exercise
All right.
number 1.
Because leg press,
Exercise number 2.
prone leg curl,
Exercise number 3.
Bulgarian split squat,
Exercise number 4, please.
single leg calf raise,
Exercise number 5.
hip thrust weighted,
Exercise number 6.
single leg hops.
You
one-
look
I've
like
got-
you
I've
have
got-
one
I've
more.
got one more.
You've said for the last year
No, 'cause
that
I
you
do
have
6.
6
No,
exercises.
I've got 8, but I do 6 of the 8,
Right,
so I
sorry.
vary them.
Exercise number 7.
Oh my goodness. You're regretting this now, aren't you, Sarah?
Trap bar deadlift. Right, I'll just finish there.
And then that was only 7. What's the 8th?
I didn't write the 8 down.
Rick. Got it. So you do those exercises when you go to the gym.
Yeah, I do 6 of 8 and do 30 minutes. So the point is that Sean's saying is you can't bother going. It's too much effort. So to get over the effort, just think of it as a 30 to 40 minute in and out to the gym. Run there if you want to tag it on, run back, and just have a set of exercises that you can vary and go out. So you're not there for hours.
Yeah,
'Cause that's what it is.
I follow a training plan. I have the option of it being targeted for running or full body. I do full body. Personally, I like a one hit of 60 minutes once a week. I know Tito in the office loves doing 20-minute workouts, which he'll do 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
So find what works for you.
Yeah, and just have the list and go in with it. Right, I'm making fun of Rick there, but there's nothing more intimidating than just heading to the gym with no kind of plan. If you go and you've got your list of exercises, go in, do them, go home, and that's more motivating because I have the same thing. I know, and I do very similar exercises to Rick because I like the ones that work you both sides of your body independently. So like split squat, single leg calf raises, and single leg deadlift. Not single leg deadlift. Sorry, single leg press. All that stuff is you're isolating one side of your body and really focusing on the right movement, and then doing the same on the other side.
Yeah.
Do you know what's stupid though? And this is what I hate about the gym. In the gym, if you did those exercises that you just read out, leg press was one of them. Imagine in an interval session when you're out running, you're doing a pyramid, maybe you're doing 200, 400, 600, and then coming back down. Imagine getting to the 600 and then having someone being like, oh no, sorry, it's busy right now, you can't do that. Like that's what single-handedly annoys me the most about the gym is that you have that plan, you have that list, you have that order you want to do it in,
I see
and
what
then
you mean.
some
It really throws
person
me
is
off as
sat
well.
on the machine
Yes,
and you have to
scrolling
throw
on
the order
Which is
again.
why, so I'm just going to say, which is why half of those exercises you don't need to be in a gym for.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's the other thing.
So if a bit of kit's taken, you can just go into find some
Yeah.
space.
Just crack
Although
on.
it is
Yeah.
February now, so that usually means that the gyms will be a bit quieter.
Yeah.
Although if you have consistently been to the gym in January, keep it up. You're doing very well.
No.
Lovely stuff.
Okay, should we have a question from the club?
Yes, this is from Talis Mason. Hi everyone. After getting a new PB, the only thing I can think about is the next one. I have a goal to chip away another 3 minutes this year, but I'm not quite sure how to go about it. I've never used a training plan and was wondering what it's like. Any advice on how to reach this goal would be great.
I'm going to jump in and quickly say that Talis is in our Faster 5K tribe. So the club, if you were to join, you get not only lots of lovely extra episodes of the podcast, but also you get allocated into a tribe, which is a little micro community of people that are pursuing the same goal as you. So in Talis's case, this is to run a Faster 5K, but there's lots of different ones. Particularly my favorite is the motivation tribe. That's the most positive place for runners on the planet. I'm a little bit biased, but that's what I think.
It's so good. My advice to you, Talis, would be start off by looking at a training plan because that structure and the kind of, it's not only the structure per week, but it's having something that in its completeness is targeting to you towards one thing. So the sessions that are in week 5 of that plan will be aligned with the session that's in week 2. So you've got that like structured plan that's taking you towards that PB. What I would say though is that if you've never used a training plan before, look at your running now. So it might be that you get out 3 times a week for a run and find a training plan that is the kind of the most similar in like volume and intensity to what you're currently doing, because then it won't feel like too much of a shock to the system. But I can guarantee that it will do what Rick struggles to do. It'll help vary your paces. It'll give you a little bit of structure, and also it will help you to unlock new speeds. So not only if you can find a training plan, but also if you can, especially in the interval sessions, maybe drag someone else out with you and see if they can push you on that
Get a little bit competitive.
That'll really help.
Well, that's wonderful. More questions next week.
Are you okay, mate?
Yeah, Rick's really struggled. There's so much of this last little 5 minute section that you'll never hear because it's going to be edited out.
We always get asked, is what you record what we finally get? Usually, yes. Today, we've got
Rick.
backup Rick.
Rick needs, you need an emergency half marathon battery change.
Let's replace your battery and then we'll record the extra volume.
Lovely. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye. Bye.